Hey everyone, we have launched the festive discounts, 30% on all the readings. Please visit vlastrology.com, our website. You will know the price list there. And that is before the discount. So you can apply 30% off and you can drop an email to us and we will respond back. So book now. The first week of October is sold out, and second week onwards, the readings will be taking place now of the October month. So book now if you want to avail this opportunity. Hey everyone, welcome to VL Astrology. Once again, I'm Vanita Lenka, I'm a Vedic astrologer. And today I'm going to be discussing something very, very happening. That is the topic marriage, because I got so many questions on relationship, on marriage, on parting ways in marriage. So I thought, let me discuss this today. We are going to be discussing the yogas first. How to check marriage, how to see whether there is a denial, there is acceptance, there is on-time marriage, there is no marriage. Some people do get married and they are happily married ever after, but still they are not living together under one roof. So that is also something that we have to check the parameters, which are very essential. So this is going to be a consolidated video. And then I will be discussing with you guys. I want you to tell me if you have anything that you want to share, if I miss out on something. So what kind of yoga do you know that you want to share? So I will be bringing in Nadi astrology. I will be bringing in Parashari. I might just bring in Gemini also in between. So they are going to be like, I did not plan this, but I had a reading just now from past 30 years. I'm just looking at the relationships, career, travels, shifting overseas, childbirth, and Mahurata, especially. That is what my forte is, Prashna Kundli and Mahurata. So I will be telling you about these yogas first. So stay tuned. And it's going to be a very, very important video. And do avail the opportunity. That is the 30% off that we are offering every year. I launch festive discounts. So it will be good if you can book your slot now so that, you can get an on-time slot, because 30% off means it is sold out every year. It is like a quick sold out. So you see, first of all, we have to see the condition of seventh house. Seventh house is about marriage. And fifth house is the house of relationships. In the natural zodiac, when we talk about marriage, it has to have benefic influence on the seventh house. That is the first thing you have to check. If it is Venus, Jupiter's influence, I'm not saying that they should be posited here, because your Karko Bhavnashai, that is also the principle that we have to consider when we talk about any Shubh Graha seated in the seventh house. So to start with, whenever we talk about friendship, whenever we talk about love, romance, we have to see the fifth house and 11th house, not the seventh house. That we will not consider the seventh house for romance. That is a relationship which is going to last for a longer duration. And it is like a live-in relationship or a marriage-like relationship or marriage, a spousal relationship. So benefics are definitely welcomed for a successful and a healthy marriage in the D1 chart. And there has to be a good connection of Jupiter and Venus in the seventh house. Also, Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga, which means that the lords of the 9th and the 10th, if they are forming a connection, that means it is going to be a good communion of two partners. So 10th house lord and the 9th house lord also, that is Dharma Karma Adhipati. That means 9th and the 10th house forming a connection will also bring in righteousness and actions, karma, because of which it will result in blessed union. The Gajakesari Yoga, which is also going to give you a healthy marriage. That means if Jupiter and Moon are in these kendras, that is the quadrants. So this will bring in good fortune, good marriage, good partner, good relationship. So you can take it as a business partner also, if you want to consider the long-term thing. Now, if there is a planet which is forming a Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga, if you're born with, like somebody who has a dual sign rising. So if you have a Mercury or Jupiter in the Kendra, so it becomes like in their own signs, of course, in Gemini and Virgo, Mercury, and in Sagittarius and Pisces, if you have a Jupiter. So this becomes a good yoga, that is the Pancha Mahapurusha yoga, and this will also bring in good, healthy relationship, and this will make the Lagna also very powerful. Then we have to also see if there are no negative grahas in your sixth house. There are some negative influences on the sixth house, which is the 12th house from the seventh. This brings in the break in agreement, break in marriage. Also, if you have a 12th house, a malefic graha, a papa graha, Saturn, Rahu, Mars, Ketu. So this will also bring in break in agreement. 6th and 12th houses should not be afflicted. Also, there should not be affliction in your 2nd and 8th houses. Because for your partner, this becomes the 2nd house, and for yourself, the 2nd house. Now, 2nd house is the 8 places away from the 7th. And from the 1st house, 8th house is also supposed to be strong, or we should not have malefic influences on these, because this brings in health issues to the partner. Even 6th house brings in health issues or separation. Separation could be a forced separation also. Somebody is working overseas. So negative influences we have to check. Now, if there is more than one malefic influence on the 7th house, this brings in a separation or denial. Suppose you have a Rahu Saturn here, okay, or Ketu Saturn here. So, and Mars also, suppose, or Mars is here and looking at this zone. So this also makes this horoscope weak, and it can lead to denial. Retrogrades are also the ones who bring in some more malefic influence on the 7th house, and that also brings in break or denial, or there can be a delay. Delaying factor happens if there is a benefic influence. At least one benefic influence will be a saving factor. Right now, if you see this chart, we have to see the trinal connection also. What kind of planets are there in the trines? That the trines means that the direction is the same and the elements are the same. So 3, 7, 11 is the west direction. So these houses represent west direction. So if the person is from the west, if your partner is from the west, it is going to be a successful marriage, or a Rahu, if is there, marriage with a foreigner. So that is going to be a saving grace. Now, if you marry someone from other than your community, then also this is going to be a good combination. You have to see the Atmakaraka and you have to see the Darakaraka. If they, in Gemini astrology, if you discuss. So if they are forming a connection, the dual signs aspect each other, okay? And the movable rashis aspect the fixed signs. So that is the aspect. So if you have a connection of, suppose Aries sign, you have the Atmakaraka. Suppose you have some Atmakaraka here, and it is forming a connection with your Darakaraka. So this is also going to be a love marriage case anywhere in the chart, if they're forming a connection somehow with the aspects, okay? So that is also going to be giving you that kind of a relationship. And Darakaraka is the lowest degree planet, which is also the communion, the planet of marriage. And also, you have to see the Navamsa position. Now, Navamsa also we have to see what is the 7th Lord's conditions, where it is in the D9 chart. Suppose the 7th Lord is gone to Scorpio sign. So for Aries people, Scorpio becomes the 8th house. 7th Lord is Venus. Suppose Venus in your D9 chart is in Scorpio. So this becomes your 8th house connectivity. So this might bring in some problem. Maybe there will be a marriage, but there will be a problem in relationship, or it might not last that longer. So, but you must understand your horoscope better rather than just jumping into conclusion, because there will be some benefic influence also. If there is a benefic influence, so it will minimize. I have seen denial of marriage also in these kinds of cases. Suppose you have a pattern is Vargotama, is in Aquarius sign. So this also brings in issues in marriage because it's in trine. And we must see the condition of our Lagnesh also. Suppose you have some planet in Aries sign. Let's say you have Venus here, okay, in your D9 chart. You have Aries, Venus in your D9 chart. So Aries D9 if you have Venus. So this is going to be a good marriage, and it is going to be definitely not a deny. Also, we have to see the Shubha Karturi and Papa Karturi. Suppose you have a malefic here and a malefic here. So 7th house is afflicted. Or if you have a malefic here and here, so this house gets afflicted or this house gets afflicted with this kind of Shubha Kartari or Papa Kartari, depends. So if you have Papa Kartari yoga, that is both the sides, either side, second 12, you have any malefic planet or a Papa Graha, then also there will be complications in relationship. Or as I said, in the 6th house also, not a malefic is welcome, and in the 8th house also. So this becomes hemmed between. So both the sides, if it is so it becomes a difficult marriage. Or if there is a positive graha or a Shubha Graha, then this becomes a very healthy and a supportive marriage, and it protects the marriage life. Also, we have to see the house of luck, that is 9th house. It has to have, this is also, a Lakshmi yoga, if at all it's forming a connection with the 1st house or the Kendras. So this becomes prosperity through marriage already. Okay. Now, the final thing that I have seen is the Dasha. Dasha plays the most important role. Dasha shows us the disha, the direction. So if you have the favorable Dasha of the 7th house, 1st house, 9th house, 5th house, 10th house, or a trinal connection, a 3rd or the 11th house also, brings in communication with the partner, or you're going to be getting married, fulfillment of desire or something like that. Also, we have to see. But we have to first and the foremost see the Dasha, which is forming a connection with the 7th house, and the transit also. Maybe, Jupiter is transiting the 7th house, it's triggering that, or it's in the trine, maybe, here. This is also going to activate your 7th house. So we have to see all these parameters when we are talking about the marriage. For relationship, same thing will apply. If Jupiter is here, then there is love, relationship, romance, which can trigger. And double transit means Saturn and Jupiter. So if Jupiter is here and Saturn is transiting here, then also there is a communion or a relationship which can trigger. If there is Ketu here, one major heartbreak happens, or multiple heartbreaks happen if it is a dual sign here, because it's the 12 places away from the love relationship. So you have to check your horoscope. If there is a Dasha of Ketu and Ketu is here, it definitely, or Mars is here as a matter of fact, then there is definitely a break in your romance during that time period. So be prepared for that, and timing definitely will trigger all the relationships, and timing is the key. Okay, is the key. Venus Dasha, Venus is in the 7th house, in the 3rd house, in the 11th house, or in the 1st house. Marriage will take place, no? Especially in the Dasha of Venus. Venus Moon, I have seen people to get married. Rahu Dasha, I've seen people getting married, because Rahu is fulfillment of desire, childbirth. And if there is no Graha in any of these houses, then you have to see the lords. Where are the lords? Are they well positioned? Are they forming a connection with each other? 7th house, 5th house, 1st house. Lagnesh will be there, no? Somewhere he'll be seated, no? So you have to see, is it well positioned? If the 7th lord is in the 9th, this is a good yoga, no? Kendra and trinal connection. Or 7th lord is in the, say, 4th house, or is in the 11th house. So it's a good connectivity, or in the 5th house. So this will, even if there is no planet in the 7th house, blank. But here what is happening, it's posited in the 6th place, 12th house, in this 12 places away from the 7th, not a good placement. So people who are planning their marriage, especially Aries natives, this is not a good transit for them. This is not a good placement for Venus. Suppose this is a native, take it as a natal chart, no? So for this native, Venus is in Rahu Ketu axis with Ketu. So this person will have issues in marriage, separation, but Jupiter is looking here. So it's a big time grace. Marriage will take place for sure, but there will be complications in marriage because we have a Ketu there. So it could be that the partner falls sick, untimely death, divorce, not divorce, I would say. Maybe it's a mutual agreement that no, we will not be able to continue. But there is no other malefic influence apart from Ketu and Mars. So 2 malefic influences and 1 Jupiter, and Venus also is a benefic graha. So this means that there will be, it's like 2:2 ratio. So this will bring in health issues, or they can be seminal. It's said that the seminal count is less. So it might bring in troubles in pregnancy and conception, or there is issue in the male chart. Okay. So Sun Venus combination, Sun Venus Ketu combination, these will bring in less counts. It's said so. So there can be some issues in marriage, but depending on where in D9 chart Venus is, how well positioned is it? Maybe it is exalted. Pisces Navamsa. Okay. In Pisces Navamsa, it will do well, but it is right now in Aries Navamsa because it is at 12 degrees 1 minute, suppose. So this is in Aries Navamsa. Aries is the first house, so not bad. So if you are in the Dasha, remember that the Dasha of Saturn delays. Then the Dasha of Mars also brings in, it gives marriage, but it brings problems. Ketu Dasha especially. These are not considered to be that great Dasha. Sun Dasha also. Sun Dasha will also bring in troubles in marriage. Okay. So what are the conducive Dashas are? Jupiter, Venus, Rahu, Mercury, and Moon. Moon also. These are good Dashas, Antardashas. So it's a conducive period. In Dasha, if you see, and transit-wise, of course, it's a delivery guy, celestial delivery guy. It has to bring in the marriage.